Okay, welcome back to American Dreamers. Due to the blizzard, I didn't have time to change, so I apologize for my appearance. I just had time to get makeup on, just in the nick of time, so I apologize for that. All right, today we are going to have a life interview where we learn about the myth, the man, the legend, Mohan Padamati. Mohan was born in 1970 in Devarakonda, India, and is married and has 2 sons. He attended Pune, one of the premier universities in India, where he studied mechanical engineering and earned an MBA later in the States. He also earned a BS, I believe, and an MBA there. He's an American citizen and has worked for several large manufacturing companies. And he's now an account manager for Science Incorporated. He's been in Toastmasters for 3 years and is working toward his Leadership Award and his Advanced Communicator Award. So I'd like to welcome Mohan to our show. Let's hear it for Mohan. I cannot tell you what a pleasure it is to finally have you on our show. I've been trying to book you for years, and I guess due to some conflict or another, we just never managed to pull it off. So I personally thank you for coming today.
Thanks for inviting me, Steve.
You're welcome. Let's start with your childhood, Mohan. I know that in India, nearly almost all names have a deeper meaning to them, whereas in all other cultures, names are just given through lineage or just because they sound good. Could you tell us why the meaning behind your first and middle name, please?
Yeah. In India, in Hindu mythology, there are 30 million gods.
30 million.
30 million gods. Out of them, few gods have a multiple name, thousands of names. When somebody gives a birth to a child, they try to pick the names from the god for the boy and goddess for the girl. There is a cradle ceremony celebrated around 21st day. Then people come and speak out the names. And out of multiple names, family picks 1 or 2 names. That's the reason you might have seen India names, 5, 6 names. My roommate, Mudimbi Venkata Satya Sriman Narayanacharyalu. But my family made it very simple, Mohan. Mohan is one of the gods from India, basically North India, Krishna, you might have heard, with flute.
Mm-hmm.
Mohan is one of the names. And Reddy, unfortunately, this tells the name I try to avoid. That's the reason I put my signature as Mohan Padamati. In India, still caste dominates the politics. Today also, unfortunately, caste dominates state level and national level. Reddy is a farmer. 99% of the people in this caste try to farm. They have 1 acre to 100 acres. I belong to 3-4 acres, but that's how name is given, Reddy. I don't use it, but my full name is Mohan Reddy Padamati. Padamati is a family name.
Fascinating. I'm not sure if the audience is aware of this. I've never mentioned it on the show before, but I have gone straight to the chase, cut my family out, and declared my own Indian name of Rutajit, or Rut for short. That means in English, the defender of truth. So you could call me Rut if you like during this interview. Or Steve. All right, what kind of things did you do in your childhood with your family? What did you do when you spent time together with them?
I could not spend much time with family, my parents, because my dad died when I was 8. Then my brother, he sacrificed his education and he took care of family. He took the responsibility. He told me to go to school and make my career. He got married when he was 16 and my sister-in-law was 12. I was 8. My mother went to farmhouse. We had only 2 acres. My mother and my sister-in-law, they had to work as farm labor, and my brother took a accountant job in a small business shop. Then they asked me to study. In India, for farmers, there is no holiday, there is no weekend. Every day they go to farmers. Only time they spent with me was during festivals. 10 to 12 festivals in India per year. They used to spend that time with me. I spent most of my childhood with my cousins and my close friends. I still call them every week.
Awesome. Wow, 7 days a week. Not many Americans can say they do that. It's no wonder why during the festivals it's truly a time to take a break and celebrate. Okay, what did you want to be, last childhood question, what did you want to be when you grew up? Can you remember back then?
I was good in math. I was a school topper from 1st grade to 10th grade. I wanted to become an engineer because in India, whoever is good in drawing pictures, 90% of them from my college, my school, they would go to medicine, becoming a doctor. Who are not good at drawing, usually pick engineering or commerce, BCom, BSc, other science courses. I wanted to become an engineer.
Okay, so that pretty much answers my next question about your transitioning into adulthood, what you wanted to be, study at the university. And how did you actually decide or get into Pune? I hear it's a very difficult university to get into.
I wanted to do engineering from my state's first top college, REC Warangal. I got a seat, but I could not do that. Though they offered me free seat, going and living in a hostel, here you call it dormitories, was expensive to my family. Between that, I picked the associate degree called Diploma in Mechanical Engineering. I went there and I completed my certificate course there in 3 years, and then I took a job in Pune. While working in Pune, I went to bachelor's degree and I completed my mechanical engineering.
Continuing with your adult life, what was your first job and what were your responsibilities at that
Now,
company?
before we go, I see that red flag. Do we have time?
We've got extended time because our second guest canceled today, so take all the time you need to answer this question.
Thanks. I got selected in a campus interview. I joined as a trainee engineer in TVS Suzuki, Bangalore, but I did not like that job. If you ask me what is my first job is in Pune. I started with forging company. They actually supply automotive parts to automobile companies, basically forging parts.
Got it. Okay.
I worked as a design engineer there, working on a drawing board, making with pencils, designs making with
Like
pencils.
an entry-level engineer.
Entry level.
Understood. Can you tell us about your wife? How did you meet her and how did you decide to get married?
Yeah, it was an arranged marriage.
Arranged.
Arranged marriage in India, basically through referrals. Relatives or friends refer, okay, I saw one girl and well educated, you want to go and meet them. Like that I got 8 referrals. Out of 8 I met 6 girls. I shortlisted 2. Between 2, I took 2 weeks to pick my wife because other girl was very beautiful, but age difference was 10 years. My wife, age difference between my wife and me was 6 years, and she had done her master's in physics. I liked her simple living, her views, and she's from a big family. I thought of bringing her and introducing her so that she could adjust into a new environment, because I came from very below poverty line, whereas she belonged to landlords.
Interesting. That reminds me of another talk show that we have on this channel called The Bachelor. It's on Monday night at 8, so if you tune in for that, you can hear similar stories from a real catch, just like Mohan. Hey, Mohan, can you tell us about your 2 sons and their hobbies and aspirations?
Yeah, elder one is 12 years old. He is going to Smith Middle School in Glastonbury. He liked sports. Recent football. He did not sleep throughout the night. He was so excited. He was dancing in the room. As
Wow.
if Indians, when they watch cricket between Pakistan and India, if India won, they would do like that. He was doing, and he did not sleep. Morning when I asked him to get up and go to bathroom, he said, no, I did not sleep at all. I'm going right inside. That's what he did. He wants to become a sportsman, but as a Indian father, usually we enforce some new courses or ambitious objective. I want to give him a right education. After coming here, I learned that we have to give them option to pick. He may pick engineering, but he wants to become a sportsman. He's confused. Second one is too young to share his aspiration. He is going to
2 or
kindergarten.
22?
Two.
Two,
Second
okay,
one
2
is
okay.
6 years. He's
6
going to
years.
kindergarten.
Okay.
He's too young to tell me what are his aspirations. He likes playing with puzzles. Every week he wants me to buy one puzzle.
Good.
I try to buy one per month.
Good for you. And what type of sports and hobbies and activities do you like to do in a little spare time that you have?
I like tennis. I go to nearby park and I play tennis, but I watch these Grand Slams every year. This year I could not make it to Australia, but I like watching tennis compared to cricket. Cricket takes full day. Tennis is done in 2 to 4 hours.
Interesting. Now, I know you like to live in the moment and live each day to its fullest, but do you ever think about the future, and do you have any plans in store for the near future you could share with us?
Yeah, I want to have my own company, business. I like investment. I started buying some stocks in 1990 and I did not make money, but I like reading about companies, assets and investing in those. Recently I made some investments and I'm tracking. More than making money, I read business news every day and track few companies. I want to have my own company. When I retire, go back to India and make it a big organization and hand over to sons.
Wow, that sounds very challenging. Good luck to you there.
Thank you.
Okay, those are the simple questions I have for you. I have a few more challenging questions prepared for you, if you don't mind. If not, you could just tell me to pass. What is the most difficult thing, thinking back in the past, that has ever happened to you, and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, 2013 I was in a client meeting with the directors in Pratt & Whitney. My colleague had come from India and I got a call from my wife. I did not respond. Again she texted me. Third time again. In 15 minutes she called me again and I had to go out and I took the call and it was very sad news. I told my friend and I said I need to go out and I went home and I told my wife, please share, I can take it. Then she said, you have to go back to India. Your brother died of heart attack.
Ooh.
Since he raised me when my father died, everybody in my neighborhood, they treated as if they are not brothers, they are actually son and dad. I treated him like, I treated like a dad, and he died before seeing any of his kids' wedding. Usually in India, if somebody sees wedding of their kids, at least we say, okay, he saw his sons or daughters' wedding. He has 2 daughters and 1 son, all were in the college. I was funding their tuition, but I wanted him to see it. He was a diabetic patient, but I thought he would survive for a few more years. That was the most difficult thing. I could not take it.
I'm so sorry to hear about that. So often in life you hear about the same situation happening, even here in the States, even with all of our wealth, and there's still poverty, and every now and then you hear of a terrible story where the family just won't help the person out, and next thing you know, they're homeless and living in shelters. So that's very admirable, and it shows a lot of character on your behalf. It's really inspiring to hear that. Another challenging question. If you had the power to solve one and only one problem in the world today, what would it be and why?
Yeah, as of last year, poverty was my main objective, to reduce the reason behind starting my own company also. I'm actually helping a lot of students in my school. I've been helping them since 20 years. I wanted to develop this company and put 5% from the profits to go towards social responsibility. I started one trust called Bhavita Trust, and opened one account in my bank, and I'm sending money every year that would go there. With this terrorism dominating other things, if I have power, I want to erode this terrorism, came out of these illusions.
I think that's overcoming poverty. That's, I believe, one of the the top mission objectives from our new Pope Francis. And so I commend you for making that a priority in your life. Last question. It's a tough one, so you could pass if you like. What would you like to be remembered for after you die?
I strongly believe that everybody should give back something to society, our country, our community, which raises one. I came from below poverty line, as I mentioned before. My friends, my community, my village, they took care of me. Example, I was funded by government fee. Fee came from tax money. I want to give them back as much as possible. I'm known as the social volunteer, but I want to do it more. I want to scale it up and spread to multiple villages. I'm doing only 2 villages now, giving scholarships to students. And they have my numbers. Whenever they approach me, usually I send some money towards their fee. I want to expand it more, and I want them to remember me as a social worker.
Thank you for such an honest and genuine answer. And I'm sure that's what you will be remembered for after you leave here. I'm just getting the cue. We're all out of time here, but I want to thank Mohan for sharing his fascinating life with us. What a journey it's been. Again, Mohan Reddy Padamati. Let's hear it for Mohan.